back to BFR, a channel dedicated to discussing, ranking, and rating some of our favorite bands.
That's right, and tonight we have a band called Anthrax.
I've heard of them.
I've heard of them too. These guys are one of the Big Four.
Yes.
If you don't know who the Big Four is, or what the Big Four is, it's the Big Four of thrash metal.
Yes.
Speed metal, whatever you want to call it. And they include Anthrax, of course, Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer.
Yep.
And tonight we're going to start with Anthrax. This is the only East Coast of the Big Four.
Yes, it is.
And they're pretty good.
They're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
One of the only thrash metal bands, I think, to have real harmonized choruses, and there was...
Well, they have an actual singer.
They were doing something a little different with their melodies than what the other thrash bands were doing. These guys were playing off power metal almost a little bit.
A little bit. Well, like I said, they had a real singer who actually did not come from a metal background, and almost didn't get the job because of that.
Yeah.
But he did, and it sets them apart from the rest of the Big Four.
Yep.
That and the fact that they're the goofballs of the Big Four. They're the comic book fans. They're the horror fans, and all their songs and their writing kind of revolves around those themes. At least for a little while. They changed a bit in the '90s.
We'll get to that era, and you don't want to know about that era, but we're going to tell you about it anyway.
Yep.
But so stay tuned for a little bit, half hour. 14-hour long video. We don't know yet. But stay tuned. We're trying some different stuff out tonight. And we're going to do the essential Anthrax albums.
Hope it works out.
And stay around. What else do you have to do?
I have nothing better to do personally.
Neither do I. So I'm gonna drink a beer, and we're gonna get into our essential Anthrax albums right now. Number 5 on our list of essential Anthrax albums is Worship Music from 2011.
And this is not too shabby.
It's pretty fucking good, actually.
This is kind of a return for them. They took about a 10, 15-year period of bad music.
Yeah.
And they came back with their original singer.
Yep.
Joey Belladonna.
Yep.
And they got current. They figured it out.
Yeah.
They got back to their thrash kind of roots, but they also added in a bit of melody into the vocals, into the choruses. They did a really fantastic job on this. It's very welcome to see Anthrax come back like this.
The entire thing. This could have been the follow-up album to Persistence of Time, which is the last one with Joey Belladonna.
Right.
I mean, musically it's a little different. Because Persistence of Time that was at a time period when things changed for Anthrax.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that.
It was a darker.
Yeah,
that's a darker album.
Yeah, But this one, I mean, Belladonna's back, which I'm sure the metal community raised their metal fist and
I was happy
and did a thing. And all of a sudden, Belladonna's back, and they record this album that is not out of place with their classic '80s lineup album. They're good. Shit that we all love.
We can pretty much skip from like 90, skip everything and go right to 2011.
Yeah,
and say this is where they should have been.
They really didn't miss a beat. They upped the ante a little bit. They brought a lot more vocal harmony in their choruses.
Yep, solid songwriting.
Yeah.
What was the first single off this one?
Fight Till You Can't, I think. The zombie song?
Yeah.
I call it the zombie song. It's about, I don't know if it was about The Walking Dead or about The Stand, or, because a lot of these metal bands, I think Anthrax was definitely one of them, that were doing a lot of songs about like 80s horror literature and comic book.
They have so many songs based on Stephen King books. Comic books. I remember first getting into them, Danny Spitz, their lead guitar player, he had this Randy Rhoads Flying V with fluorescent green pinstriping on and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it. That's how I got into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was Danny Spitz's guitar.
Turtle power!
My first guitar was a black Randy Rhoads Flying V that I put green pinstriping on.
Okay.
Because Danny Spitz had one like that.
Your story's way cooler than mine. I didn't have a story like that.
I like Anthrax.
Because I never had cool drums. Like Charlie Benante.
Yes, he has cool drums.
He has cool drums.
And he plays them pretty cool.
He knows how to play them. And I guess he writes pretty much...
He is the
everything.
primary music writer, believe it or not. The drummer is
the
primary composer of the music. And Scott Ian, the rhythm guitar player, who's been there since day one, pretty near the same as Charlie, he's the main lyric writer. Kind of an oddball combination.
It is weird. I mean, there are other bands where the lead singer was, or the drummer was also kind of like the lead writer or the lead singer. I mean,
right? Well,
like the Eagles. We might not get into the Eagles or not. But like the Eagle, Don Henley was the drummer and also one of the main lyricists and main songwriters. Same with Neil Peart from Rush.
Right.
He wrote 90% of their music and their lyrics, and the other guys just kind of stumbled in and fucking like, oh yeah, we'll do whatever you said we'll do, Neil, because we know how good you are, and then he did that. But so it's not unheard of, but
how stupid talented you have to be, to be able to be a great drummer like Charlie, like Neil, and even Don Henley, and you're writing the music. You're the drummer, and you're writing the music, and somebody else is writing the lyrics. Not that Scott Ian didn't do a great job. He did do a great job. There's very few bands that I even pay attention to the lyrics in, but because of their horror and comic cartoon-based lyrics, I actually did pay a little bit of attention to Anthrax's lyrics because Scott did a great job.
I didn't so much pay attention to lyrics because I don't really care about lyrics.
Generally, I don't.
For most bands,
generally I don't.
But they knew how to write it. Well, Charlie knew how to write.
He wrote good music.
Well, and then Scott. You said Scott wrote the lyrics.
Yeah, he's Stephen King books and comic books.
So like those two kind of made what Anthrax is. And was and will be, I'm assuming, going in the future, because those two are still the main source of new material from this band coming out.
And this is a testament to that, because here they are in 2011 doing what they did in the late 80s.
And thank God.
And thank God is right.
Thank God they're doing that, because if we were still stuck in the John Bush era of Anthrax,
which we'll tll you about every single album to avoid.
Yeah.
In the John Bush era.
Yeah, and guess what? John Bush is a great vocalist. Their music just went completely in the opposite direction of what Anthrax fans wanted to hear.
Yeah, no knock on John Bush. He was influential back in the day. He
was
the singer of Armored Saint.
Yeah.
Kind of more of a B-list thrash band, in our opinion. But they were really good.
But I mean, here's a question for you, because we're talking about Anthrax here. We're talking about the big four of thrash. What is your, in order of best to worst? What is your? How do you rank the top four bands in the big four of thrash?
Well, my ranking is probably going to be a bit controversial.
Okay.
Because I'm a bit outside the box on this one.
You usually are.
My favorite is Megadeth. Anthrax is probably my second favorite. Metallica, third, and Slayer, fourth. And there goes Bob. Bob's knocking over cans.
Even Bob does not agree with your horse shit.
Bob needs to settle down.
What?
Bob needs to settle down. Bob's getting a little crazy here.
Megadeth at the top of the big four list?
Megadeth is one of my favorite bands ever. There goes Bob again.
Interesting. So
don't make me start throwing Vader around.
No, I don't. Nope. I don't want to fuck with Vader.
That's right.
I've seen what he can do.
He can.
He does some shit. Yeah.
Choke you from here.
So really, so Megadeth is the top of the list.
Oh yeah.
And then what?
Anthrax. Then Anthrax.
Anthrax,
Metallica,
Slayer.
And Slayer.
All right. Mine differs a little bit.
What do you got?
Metallica's number one.
Probably would be for most people.
Metallica's number one. Let me think about this for a minute. Maybe I'm going to change this up on you a minute for here. Maybe maybe I'm gonna fucking like make a mistake.
I'm not sure what's coming.
And forget what the fuck it was I was actually thinking a minute ago.
Okay.
And I'm gonna change my mind.
All right.
Or I won't. And you don't fucking know. You don't know what's going on inside my head. Do you know what's up in here? Do you see this pimple? Do you see this? You see this thing right here? I feel like a fucking 13-year-old. So I can appreciate this conversation tonight about the Big Four. Because the last time I had pimples, I was listening to the fucking Big Four when they were actually fucking popular. Well, actually, they still kind of are, I guess. Popular. Metallica is my number one. Simply because they started the whole ball rolling, as far as I'm concerned.
Sort of.
And they were the melodic band of the bunch early on.
Sort of.
Even though Dave Mustaine was also a member of that band before they stole his fucking record.
He has quite a few writing credits on their original.
Kind of like that. But if I have to do this the way I want to do it, it's going to be Metallica number one because they're fucking phenomenal. Number two is going to be this band right here. It's this overlay picture. Anthrax is number two for their vocal harmonies and all the shit they added to the genre that nobody else is doing. Megadeth is going to be number three, unfortunately. Even though Rust in Peace is probably one of the greatest thrash metal albums of all time.
Definitely.
And Slayer goes at number four, just like you said.
So you pretty much summed up the basic argument of most metalheads throughout the 80s and 90s. Where do you put Megadeth? Where do you put Metallica? We swapped. I put Megadeth first. You put them where I put Metallica, and the other way around. And I mean, it's the eternal discussion right there. Megadeth or Metallica?
I put Metallica there for their first four albums, which are almost 100% perfect thrash metal albums. I can't do the same with Megadeth. Rust in Peace is maybe better than almost all of Metallica's first four albums. But Megadeth was never consistently that good.
What they were consistent at was being good throughout their entire history, outside of a couple of speed bumps. Where Metallica, it's a speed bump the size of a mountain.
Yeah.
That they have
everything after 1992 was a huge fucking speed
and they're
bump.
Still trying to figure out how to get back to
and they're getting
respectable.
There. They're getting there. Metallica's getting there
now. The
now.
last album was uneven but good.
Yeah. There's still a lot of load in that album, and it bothers me.
Right.
But the songs that were good were really good. It was thrash again, but it wasn't forced thrash. They were actually writing. But we're
digressing way into
we're moving on.
You needed to know a little bit about the Big Four.
Yeah.
To understand Anthrax and what their history is. What we agree on is that out of the Big Four, they're number two. That's the one thing we can agree on.
Yeah.
Is out of the Big Four, they are the second best one.
Yep.
And that says a lot.
And they absolutely deserve their place for the reasons we've discussed already. I mean, I'm a big fan of vocal harmony and stuff like that. And although the other, I mean, Slayer, I don't think really ever cared about harmony so much, other than like two or three, like the big trilogy of Slayer albums, they kind of got a little more melodic.
I think there was a slight vocal harmony in Seasons in the Abyss, just in the chorus. But other than that, they're just kind of screaming. But the music was so good that you didn't care.
Metallica always kind of had melody.
If it wasn't vocally, at least they were doing it on guitar.
Right. I think that's why I put Metallica on my top. Even though Anthrax kills them on vocal ability, vocal talent, vocal harmony. Anthrax kills them.
They kill all four.
On that,
all
yeah.
The other three.
Yeah. But they weren't as solid for as long as a band like Metallica, because Metallica owned the 80s.
Right.
And as much as Anthrax tried, they had their first album was a dud with Neil Turbin. Oof. The album before Belladonna, that was a dud. And they had a few songs here and there toward the end of the 80s and the very early 90s, even with Belladonna, that were kind of starting to, the cracks were starting to form where they weren't doing what we'd hoped they would do. But they're fucking awesome.
Right, and we'll get into this a little bit later, too, when we get closer to the albums that are relevant.
Yeah.
Anthrax was kind of groundbreaking in a way. As far as different genre metal is concerned.
Yep.
And we'll tell you that. You probably already know.
Yeah, you do. If you're watching this, you know what we're talking about.
If you have no idea what these albums are that we're going to be talking about, but you've heard the name Anthrax, you probably only know it for one reason. And we'll get into that a bit later.
That's true. But that was it. That was Worship Music from 2011.
2011.
It's a phenomenal album. It came back to the roots, to the classic era of Anthrax, except like now, like when us old fucks. I mean, and I say us, I mean him, basically.
Saw that coming a mile away.
But we really appreciated this because it was like the band did not miss a beat between the original Belladonna run and this new Belladonna run, and it's phenomenal. It fits right in. It's as good as their early stuff, and we think you should check it out. I'm gonna leave some links. You're gonna do that. You're gonna go buy this shit and listen to it, and then you're gonna fucking yell at us and tell us if we're wrong or not. But for right now,
we're not wrong.
We're never wrong.
We're not wrong.
That was Worship Music. We're gonna do another one next. In 1988, State of Euphoria happened. And it was a state of euphoria for any metal fan that was into the thrash movement at the time.
Yeah, State of Euphoria kind of followed probably one of their best, if not their best album.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I so look forward to this album. I couldn't wait for this one to come out, and I was not disappointed.
No.
This was a really good outing by them.
Yeah. Good outing. Like they were camping. Like they were fucking like camping out in the skook.
They had a campfire.
Skook. Really?
Anthrax with a campfire. But yeah, in all seriousness.
Be serious.
Awesome album. They pretty much did everything right on this album that they needed to do. There's some goofy stuff, there's some serious stuff, and some catchy stuff. And a cover song, which kind of did pretty well for them.
I agree with you, Bernie, and let me tell you my belief system.
Go ahead, tell me.
Let me tell you what I think about this album.
Carefully.
We're being serious, right?
Yes. I'm trying not to...
Okay. To be serious about this album... Who the fuck am I even trying to be? Like, really? What is that voice?
I don't know.
Who even speaks like that? Nobody. This is the album with Antisocial.
That's the one. Antisocial.
This is the album with Antisocial, and guess what? It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, right. It's
you hear this song and you see a whole bunch of drunken mosh pitters just fucking slamming down in the pit.
Yeah, it was a cover of a song by a band I never heard of, Trust.
Neither have I.
And I've never bothered to look into them.
Neither have I.
Maybe they're really good. I don't know.
No, they're probably not.
Okay, probably.
They're probably garbage.
But that song is really good. Antisocial is a really good song.
It's one of the standout cuts on this album.
I think it was probably like the first release. They went with the cover to go out there and like try to grab your attention a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other good ones on here. Misery Loves Company.
Oh, that's fucking phenomenal.
Based on a Stephen King novel and the movie of the same name. Well, just plain old Misery.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to see people's feet getting bashed.
Oh yeah, remember that? Remember that, guys?
So you can
when that fucking big old lady broke his necklaces.
Yeah, so you can watch it, you can read it, or you can listen to Anthrax sing about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross either way. But in a good way. In a way you want to experience it.
Yeah.
You don't actually want to experience that. Because that would...
I mean, as far as thrash in general, the entire thrash movement went at the time, 88 was kind of the end of, like...
Yeah, they were
88? This is 88? 87,
yeah, this is 88.
88. It kind of, they all kind of peaked between 86 and 88. All the thrash bands kind of had their peak albums, like their best albums. And after that, they all either try to change with the times or mainstream their sound. And I mean, we'll get into this more as we do, because we're going to do all the Big Four albums, the Big Four bands at some point, and you're going to see each one of them got to a certain point in the late '80s where all of them had like their peak albums. And once they moved into the 90s and were fighting Kurt Cobain, and they were fighting Soundgarden, and all these other grunge bands,
they kind of stopped being the trendsetter, and started trying to catch up with the times.
Yeah,
and the payoff wasn't quite the same as it was in the late 80s.
Right. Yeah.
Even up to 1990, because they have another album after this, which is phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah. But there's another big album. It's Black. And it has a Metallica and a Snaky thing on the cover.
Was that 92?
92, 93.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere
so
there.
There's still a little bit of leeway in there for some of these bands to be okay. But once you hit that 92, 93 point, everybody went off the rails.
But I think
tried to do something
Metallica
else.
got away with mainstreaming.
They did.
Because they were the first ones to do it. And they still did a great metal album, but it was all on the radio. For the first time a thrash band was on the radio every fucking day.
And Megadeth followed right in their footsteps and released, not, I don't know, in my opinion, a better album, but very, very similar album. But they certainly followed in Metallica's footsteps.
Yeah.
And then Anthrax, which we'll get into in a little bit, they had a little bit of upheaval in their lineup and released an album which, again, tried to follow the current trend, and it still ended up being pretty good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this. It wasn't their great point, which they wouldn't again see until 2011 and later, which we just described on the previous album.
Yep. They've gone back to being that like late 80s thrash band again. They kind of picked up where they left off, and now they're great again.
And added a little bit more to it.
But this is original. This is...
Yeah, there's some great songwriting on this one. Make Me Laugh is on this one. And that was a direct make fun of the televangelist movement, which was a thing in the 80s. They were stealing money from people left and right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God people came to their senses.
Yeah.
Most people came to their senses.
Yeah.
But they can never pull that off today.
You know who else did that? That's really weird. I'm going to throw in something really fucking off the wall right now.
I know what I'm thinking.
That's what I do.
I know what I'm thinking, but go ahead.
There's a classic progressive band that became a pop band.
Not what I was thinking.
They recorded a song in the 90s about the televangelists and about that whole fucking shitty, money-leeching, hungry asshole faces that they are. Asshole faces.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Okay, well,
Jesus, He Knows Me. I don't know if you remember that song or not.
I kind of do.
But the video is basically that, and the song is basically that. It's another one of those songs that goes into the televangelical, that thing.
Stupid words! Why can't words happen when I want them to?
Because we're dumb.
Televangelists.
We're dumb and drunk. Televangelical.
Nope.
Nope. Turpentine.
That's a word. Not relevant. But it is definitely a word. No, I thought you were going to go Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, wow.
Another B-list metal thrash band.
They are.
Send Me Your Money, which was a hilarious video. YouTube that one after you're done watching us.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
It's pretty alright.
Yeah, everybody who understood nonsense.
Yeah.
Wrote a song about it.
Yep.
And Anthrax did, and Suicidal did, and Genesis did, and everybody.
I'm sure like every band was tapping into that at some point.
And they all took a comedic approach to it.
Yeah.
And good stuff. Definitely good stuff. Oh, and that last song on this album is called Finality. And to this day, when I say something's done, I say over, finished, gone, done, out. Which are the words in the song.
Because of that.
That's
what you do.
Over, finished, gone, done.
That's what you do.
That's what I do.
Wow.
That's the thing I do.
That's what he does.
That's what I do.
That's a thing he does. It's not a thing I do, but it's a thing that happens.
He doesn't do that.
I don't do that at all.
I do that.
I don't do that at all.
Because it's a thing I do.
Well, stop doing the thing that you do.
I thought I liked doing that.
You're doing the thing Anthrax does.
Yeah, overfinished.
And guess what the thing Anthrax does is?
Are we done with this? Are we done with this one?
They do this album in 1988 that's really fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
And you love it.
Yes.
You want to touch it.
Maybe.
You want to feel it in a weird way, like
Probably
in your hands.
Actually, what it made me want to do is play Nintendo.
You can do that, but wait till the video's over.
No, I actually beat Super Mario listening to this album. And you know what I said when I beat that dragon guy at the end of it and rescued the princess? I said, overfinished, gone, done, out.
Did you actually say that out loud?
In my head.
In your head, you said that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good story. I don't have any stories right now. That's a pretty good one. And it's a good way to end this album, I think, because...
Over.
Fucking Mario Brothers, bitches.
Finished, gone, done, out.
I drank a few more beers in between albums because I figured that was the way that you like us. I think you like us drunk. You don't care about our livers. We don't care about our livers here. But the next album on our list, at number 3, at number 3 now, is For All Kings. It was the follow-up to Worship Music. And this is the second album now in our essential albums that were of the reunited lineup of Anthrax.
Yeah, it just goes to show how great they became again after all that time since the 80s and all the nonsense they went through in the 90s and the 2000s, and here they are back again with their original singer.
Yep.
And this album, even better than the last one they did when Joey first came back.
Yep. Yep, they upped the ante again.
They got it right again.
Like every song has some kind of a catchy, stupid chorus that makes you like want to fucking bang your old head a little bit.
I mean, I kind of want some of the older stuff to be more essential than this, but this is too good not to put where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is they took what they used to do before and they made it even better. It's even better than the 2011 Worship Music.
Yep. Yeah, so in those 5 years in between, they further pushed into a different direction. I mean, not a different direction at all. It's the same direction
from what they started.
But they upped the musicianship, the songwriting, the melodic choruses. They upped the ante again, and kind of went more again. And I'm always going to go here. They're going into somewhat of a
you mean like with the choruses?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought for a minute.
They kind of almost power metal.
What's going? Oh yeah, okay.
Not metal.
Sorry,
metally.
Metal.
Metally. Power metally. Not metally. Not like a medley.
Completely lost my train
Although
of
they
thought.
do have medley. They were pretty good medley.
I'm glad I lost my train of thought on camera so that I can fucking look like a complete fucking asshole. Because I did that.
Keeping it.
Because you don't want to know why. Let me share something with you right now. I heard a song behind me that is not a song by Rush.
Oh wow!
It's a song by a band that we just fucking
it is
did.
A song by Rush,
but it's
Rush.
It's them doing Rush, and it completely fucked my mind up to a point where I thought I played the wrong music behind us. But they did have a cover album.
Wow, you know what?
Anthrax had a cover album where they did a bunch of this kind of shit. They did Kansas at a certain point. They did.
Oh, and that is a great.
That's phenomenal. I don't think that one's on here, oddly enough.
No, that's one of the ones they kind of added in.
Yeah,
later, like,
but now you know what? You know why I lost my mind a little bit? Because I heard Rush in the background and thought, how did I start playing Rush?
I wasn't even paying attention.
That's why I lost my mind for a minute and had no idea what was going on.
You were thinking, what did I play? Did I hit the wrong button?
So wherever I was going with that, let's just say I was right.
Anyway, Anthrax is pretty good at covering other bands' music.
Apparently.
To the point where it's seamless or better.
Yeah.
Case in point, Carry On Wayward Son.
Some of their biggest songs, I think, are like covers of somebody that.
Yeah.
We discussed Antisocial cover. They did Carry On Wayward Son, which was phenomenal cover.
I'm 18 from Alice.
Yeah.
Was on their first album.
Yep.
And they did not do a bad job on it. And that was actually pretty good. So yeah, they're good at their own music. They're good at other people's music.
Yeah.
Now that I'm kind of hearing this in the background a little bit, I was not convinced this was not actually Rush. Joey.
It's him. He's channeling Geddy Lee. We are not channeling Geddy Lee. We're
General Lee.
What happened? General Lee.
The Dukes of Hazzard happened.
We're not channeling Geddy. We're not channeling Rush. Even though we might have a little Rush for you at some point real fucking soon.
Maybe in the near future.
Very near future. Like right now. Like it's on right now. And you fucking missed it. Do you feel like a loser? Do you feel like a loser because you missed our Rush episode? Well, it's not up yet. See what I did for you?
So you can feel better about yourself because you didn't actually miss anything.
True.
Yet.
True.
But if you're gonna fall behind here because we're gonna keep cranking these guys out.
We're gonna try.
Yeah. So
For All Kings. 2016. It's an improvement of worship music. Another new, modern Anthrax album.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're doing better than any other bands in the Big Four.
Of all the bands in the Big Four, the album that I'm looking forward to the most is probably the next Anthrax album.
Yes.
Because they got it right. They're on the right track.
Yeah. And they are recording their next album.
I heard
next
something about
year.
that.
They're going to start recording. So maybe 2019, maybe 2020. Maybe 2020 will be another big year for music. We know Halloween's coming out with an album in 2020. We know that Queensryche's coming out with that album next year. We know that like the next couple of years might be really good for metal. But right now we're talking about Anthrax, and we're done talking about Anthrax for this album.
Next up,
For All Kings. Get on some of that shit. It's really fucking good. And here comes the next one. Persistence of Time. Do you remember that one? The 1990 album from Anthrax. Do you remember that?
I do. I remember that one very well.
We remember it because it's a fucking amazingly... It's a fucking solid album all day long.
Funny thing is, I was actually disappointed with that album when it first came out. Because we were coming off Among the Living, State of Euphoria, and then we hit this Persistence of Time thing, and they lost all the comic book stuff, all the funny went away. They took it seriously. It was a little bit darker. Now, over the years,
in hindsight,
this album has grown on me quite a bit, and it's definitely rates, in the 1, 2, 3 category exactly where we have it. But I didn't like this album at first. I was disappointed.
I was not disappointed at all. But I mean, we were into different musical things, But this album, that weird transition into the 90s, all of a sudden this thrash band has to be a 90s band. And I think they were the first band to transition into the 90s. No, because Megadeth did with Rust in Peace.
Yeah, and they were always on the darker side, so.
Right.
But it wasn't what you expected from Anthrax. I mean, it's not what I expected from Anthrax.
Which is, it's that weird decade transition that pretty much every band we're ever going to do has that weird point at the end of a decade into a next decade where they start doing something different. They start changing their style, and they did. They were still thrash. They were still melodic. They were still doing all the things they had built up to.
Yeah, like I said, in hindsight, I mean, it's fantastic. Belly the Beast is probably my favorite song on this album.
Interesting.
And I had a band that tried to do this, and the intro to it, Intro to Reality, right into Belly the Beast, it's on the tape. cassette tape. It led side 2. Yeah. Showing the age there a little bit. Tape.
A tape? Chipper?
A tape? Chipper's here.
Chipper, yeah, Chipper showed up.
Yeah, we finally have a name for Chipper.
Chipper came for the ride.
Our little, whatever he is.
He's a chippy. It's a chipmunk. That's what chipmunks look like.
His name is Chipper.
Stop touching him!
Because we're original.
Is that what we are?
Well, the squirrel's Elmer. That is kind of original.
Elmer the nut holder.
Right. Because that's what he's doing.
Because Elmer will hold your nut, son!
Just his. He's
he
right
will,
there.
Okay, he'll hold his nut.
Yeah.
He'll also hold your nuts. We digress. Let's move back into the persistence of Elmer. The persistence of Chippy.
Of time.
Chipper.
Persistence of time.
That's the one.
Well,
yep.
I mean, they took things a little bit more seriously on this one.
Mm-hmm.
They brought up like social issues and like racism type stuff, and like they went a little bit deeper.
Like their longest songs I think ever are on this album. Like they started like branching out into like long, like really long songs, and not like Dream Theater long.
No,
like,
but 6-7 minute long songs, and they like front loaded the album with these longer tracks.
Yeah.
It was kind of definitely a departure for them. But you know what? Worked out in the end. Great album. It took me a while to warm up to it.
It didn't work out for Joey Belladonna because this is the last album that he was on.
This is it. This is it for him. They had an EP kind of thing that came out after this that he was still on. I think it was Attack of the Killer Bees. Came out after this. And they covered a Public Enemy song on that.
But isn't that still like a bunch of like just B-sides from
hence the name
earlier? Yeah.
Attack of the Killer Bees.
Yeah.
But the one thing they did do that was another sort of groundbreaking thing is a Public Enemy song.
Yes.
Who does a Public Enemy song?
Yeah, well, Anthrax does.
Anthrax does.
Anthrax. And it was huge.
Yep. Almost as huge as the other rap metal song they did before this one, I'm the Man, which we'll probably talk about a little bit more. Also huge. Very huge. Very huge.
But guess what? It wasn't on any of their albums.
No, it was its own EP.
Yeah. When EPs still were a thing. A real thing.
Several versions of the same song.
Yeah.
And some live stuff.
Yeah.
And a really great cover of a Sabbath song.
What was it? Sabbath Bloody Sabbath?
Yeah.
That was good. I slurred. I slurred over saying Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
I understood you.
Okay?
I did.
He understands me 12 beers in or 15 beers in. Chipper understands everything I say. Because Chipper's fucking dead.
Look at the ears on him.
He just looks at you. Is he staring at you right now?
With his cold, black eyes. Which are actually very small marbles.
Is it a horror channel now? What are we doing?
Sorry. It's a dark album.
Wow. It is. It's a very.
Time is a dark album.
It's a very dark album.
And it puts you in a dark place.
What did they cover on here? They covered what's Ike Turner? They covered an Ike Turner song or something on here.
Ike Turner? I don't remember.
I think they covered an Ike Turner. Like one of the most popular songs on this album is a cover. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, you're thinking of Got the Time.
On this album?
Yes.
That's Ike Turner. Is it not?
Joe Jackson.
Oh, that guy. Okay, they're the same guy. I'm pretty sure they're the same guy.
All right, we'll go with it.
They're alter egos of each other.
It's Ike Turner, also known as Joe Jackson. The song's called Got the Time. I'm pretty sure it was, if not one of the first singles released from the album.
All right.
Ike Turner, didn't you
shut up!
TV shows and stuff?
I don't have time to be embarrassed right now, and you can't make fun of me for saying that.
Is it CBS, maybe?
Ike Turner.
Yeah.
Like fucking like Ike and Tina Turner. You know Tina Turner?
Oh, I thought you meant the one that was like a...
Oh, the singer.
TV.
The singer. The guy who beat the shit out of fucking Tina Turner a lot because he was a bad person.
The second you said Tina Turner, you completely lost me because I know nothing about that person other than the fact that
if I could turn back time, that's Cher. Fuck what you just made me do. That was Cher, okay? I sang Cher because fuck this entire...
That wasn't Tina Turner then?
That was not Tina Turner. I don't remember what she did. She did stuff in the 80s that was good for people who like that stuff.
We both wish we could turn back time.
Oh.
Right about now.
Yeah, and remove this entire video from YouTube. But we didn't. We're doing this album. We're doing Persistence. It's a dark album, a lot of longer tracks, and it's fucking great. And it was the end of an era for them. It was the end of the Belladonna era.
Yeah, he's gone after this.
They got a new singer. They got a new singer after this. We already talked about John Bush. So we're not going to try and fucking play around like we don't know what we're fucking talking. Fuck! Shut! Are you judging me? I'm sick of your shit. But they were judging me. I'm pretty sure that I was being judged. I felt it. I
think you're right.
It's what made my hair fall out, basically.
Really? Right now?
Yeah.
Just now?
Yeah, it's all gone now. I had a full head of hair until tonight.
They're bad people.
Now I'm bald.
They're bad people?
I'm bald now, basically. So thanks. Thanks for that, okay? Chipper thinks you're assholes, too. But in case Chipper doesn't think you're an asshole, you know what Chipper likes?
He doesn't.
Chipper likes Persistence of Time.
Because it's really good.
Which I'm pretty sure is the number 2 album on our list.
It is the definite number 2 most essential Anthrax album of all time.
That? What?
Of all time.
The number 2 of all time.
For them.
Uh,
Just for Anthrax, not overall.
It's their number 2 album of all time.
That's why there's a number 2 on it.
But you know what? There's a number 1 album of all time by Anthrax.
There is, and we're going to give you a couple minutes to think about what that might possibly be.
What's yours?
Because there's like 8 albums, maybe 9.
Ooh, they have a lot of albums,
that we haven't mentioned yet.
No, they're just bubbling fucking gutters full of fucking shit and dead things. We're not going to talk about them, but we're going to talk about them. But before we talk about them, we're going to go into the next album right now that is our number 1. Our number 1 essential Anthrax album, and here it comes. Right up your fucking face! Among the Living is a 1987 album by the same band we've been discussing all night, Anthrax.
Amtrak. That's a train.
It is a train.
That's a train.
And this band at the time was kind of a train rolling over all of the fucking thrash landscape.
That was good.
Right? Huh?
That was really
right?
good.
See what I did?
We should keep that.
I'm fucking keeping the shit out of that. Keeping the shit out of that.
Definitely keep that. This is our number 1 most essential album.
Absolutely.
Anthrax. And,
hands down.
And hands down, it is the best thing they've ever done.
Yes.
Songwriting.
Yep.
100% perfect.
Yep.
The recording quality, perfect.
Yeah. There's like the couple albums before, like what's before this? Like Fistful of Metal,
Spreading the Disease, and Fistful.
They're mixed and mastered terribly.
Especially the first one.
This one really caught on to like a modern production vibe a little bit, and sounded so much better, which just added to songs that were already fucking phenomenal. Let me tell you about a song on here. Let me fucking tell you about a song on this album. There's a song called Indians.
Yes.
Indians?
They have a video for that.
You guys know that fucking song? Okay? It's what he's doing right there. I'm not going to sing it. But okay. Yeah. But it's my favorite Anthrax song of all time. Because it kind of encapsulates everything that Anthrax was capable of doing. Good verses, great bridges, super harmonic multi-layered vocal choruses. It was everything. I can't say anything about it. I can't, because Indians is the greatest Anthrax song of all time.
I think that's the second best song on this album. And maybe their second best song ever. My favorite song is also on this album. It is I Am the Law.
Oh, okay. Okay.
These guys, like we said,
comic book stuff.
Yeah, but this just wasn't just comic book stuff. This is comic books that nobody ever even heard of. This is like English, European, UK comics. Judge Dredd, and this song is all about him and his fight in Mega City.
Yeah.
And the music is phenomenal. It's humorous.
It's not Indians.
It's better than Indians.
Nothing is better than Indians. Nothing is better than Indians. Have you ever gone to a casino? We're going to end that right there before I say something really dumb. Indians is my favorite. I Am the Law is his favorite.
Yeah, but
I Am the Law is as good. It's a fucking phenomenal. It's a phenomenal fucking song.
There's really not a bad song on here. The title track, Among the Living, that's another Stephen King book.
Yep.
That's The Stand. That's what that one's based off of. Caught in a Mosh. The quintessential mosh song.
Hence the title.
Caught in a Mosh.
Hence the title.
If you're not getting into a pit when that song comes on, then you went to the wrong concert.
Yeah, you failed. You failed miserably.
Don't go there.
Sorry we talked a lot and had another camera incident because Bernie fucked it up.
I'm really sorry.
But that really was Among the Living. There's not... Wait, is that the album we're talking about?
Yeah, Among the Living.
Okay, good. Good album.
Great album.
Our favorite. Our favorite
Definitely
album.
my favorite album.
Our favorite album by Anthrax. Indians is on there. His favorite stupid fucking songs on there.
One World is on there.
Well, that's the album we just did.
NFL is on there.
And the NFL?
No, NFL.
No Fucking Life.
Nice
Fucking Life.
That's the one.
Yes, that one. They're all those songs are on there. The entire album is good from front to back. Check it out. We love it. We hope you'll love it. We're going to go into some honorable and dishonorables here really quick. Like right now. And you're going to love them too. But you're not. I don't care.
You're going to love to hate them. Honorable mentions. We have Spreading the Disease, which was their second studio album.
Yeah.
And the first one that featured Joey Bell.
With Joey. Yeah.
Very underproduced album.
Yeah.
But it had a bunch of really good songs on it.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorites was the song Spreading the Disease. But there's lots of... Medusa was on there. Home was on there. AIR, one of my personal favorite Anthrax songs was on there. But I think production kind of kills it.
Yeah.
They didn't quite have their songwriting quality where it needed to be yet, but yeah, it's very good.
It was the beginning of a band
coming into their own,
really starting to figure out what they were good at.
Right,
and they did that with the albums that we showed you tonight. They built on this on Disease. They built on Disease.
They built on Disease. Not everyone can say that.
Interesting.
It's hard to build on Disease.
But they did that, and it's a great album. 1985, I think.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
And it's a great album, and it was right in there with the other thrash bands that were doing their thing at the time. Yeah. And you're not going to be let down by it.
Absolutely not.
As far as like what was going on in the mid '80s.
No, it's good. It's good. Like we said, production's a little bit shaky.
And we do rate production quality a little bit into our ranking system.
It's hard not to.
If an album sounds like fucking dirty fucking buttholes, we're gonna rank it lower because fuck you. Learn how to master your album
or remaster it better.
Yeah. And I have not heard remasters.
They never remastered that one.
There are certain albums that were remastered. Euphoria was remastered.
They didn't bother with that one. I don't know why.
Because they failed.
Yeah.
They failed, basically.
Anthrax failed.
We're not going to fail, though, because we're moving right the fuck along. We're sick of wasting your time. We're sick of wasting our time and the time we have on our livers.
But we have one more honorable mention.
We have one more honorable mention, and you just go right into it. Let's do it.
After Persistence of Time, Joey Belladonna left the band.
Sad.
So they needed to replace him with somebody.
Yes.
So they got this guy, John Bush, which I mentioned a couple times. He was the singer of Armored Saint, and they released this album called The Sound of White Noise.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it came out a little bit too late, and the grunge era started to influence their writing a little bit, but it still ended up being a pretty good album.
Guess what? The single only
That's a great song.
was on this album. It's fucking great.
That's a great song.
Black Lodge, I don't know if that was a single or not, but Black Lodge...
It was a single, because I had the single.
Black Lodge is one of the greatest fucking Anthrax songs of all time, I think.
It's very good. They kind of had to go a different direction. Now they had all of a sudden this lower singer, kind of lower register vocally, and they kind of had to, mold their sound around a different style of singer.
Right.
And they did a really good job.
Yeah.
For that one album.
That one
album. So that's an honorable mention.
And we say that one album because we're going to immediately do a slide into the dishonorable mentions.
No pun intended on the slide.
The slide, yeah. This band did like 5 albums or something after
with
The Sound of White Noise.
With John Bush.
With John Bush. Each one of them was an equal amount of toilet water in your fucking mouth hole. Like, seriously. These were bad albums. Sound of White Noise got it kind of right. There was a grunge feel to it, but there was still enough Anthrax to make it work.
Yeah, it was the okay grunge.
Yeah.
It was like the Alice in Chains Dirt era grunge.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the beginning of grunge when they were still okay. And then everything just fell apart.
No, the rest of it was terrible.
And then you had this...
Like Stomp 442
God, that
was... Wait, what? Shit? Did you say shit? It was. He's right. Guess what else? What, Volume 8? Volume 8, The Threat is Real? The Threat was real fucking real. Yeah.
The threat was to music.
It was real.
And they came through on that threat.
They were so bad.
And we all kind of suffered for it.
We've Come For You All was part of that thing. That was the last John Bush album, We've Come For You All.
I don't know what they were doing.
There was one song on there, Safe Home. It was kind of like almost a metal ballad.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Well,
it was great.
There might have been 1, maybe 2 songs on every one of those albums that was maybe worth your time to listen to a little bit. But on the whole, garbage. Absolute garbage.
We don't listen to an album for 1 or 2. If you're only doing 1 or 2 good songs on an album, you fucking failed, basically.
That's a fail.
And it's never going to do well in our rating system and the way we do things and how we...
The John Bush era was a fail.
Yeah, except for Sound of White Noise.
Right.
Everything else after that was a bunch of flaming hemorrhoid poopers, basically. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, I 100% agree with you.
It's garbage. It's unfortunate this garbage, but this is why we're also really happy that the 2 newest Anthrax albums,
right, in the later 2000s here,
ranked in our top 5.
Yeah.
Because they came back and they came back hard, and it's such a welcome return to form for one of the most classic thrash bands of all time.
And we want to end this thing on kind of a positive note. And their 2016 and 2011, 2015, 2016, those releases were like a return to form.
Yeah.
Joey Belladonna's back. They're writing great songs.
Yep. And Dan Spitz is long gone now, but
long gone.
The guy from Shadows Fall.
Right. Yeah, they got a guitar player now.
The guitar player from Shadows Fall. Like what?
Yeah.
Shadows Fall?
For a long time, they were kind of middling with this guitar player, that guitar player. They had Dimebag Darrell play on a couple of solos on an album here or there.
Is that
just kind of fill in?
Did you make that up?
No, that's real.
Oh my!
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I missed that completely.
He played solos on a couple of albums.
I shouldn't have a channel if I don't know these things.
And but it didn't matter because nobody cared.
No.
The music wasn't.
They died. They died for a long time.
But now they're good again.
I think that's why these albums charted so high, because everybody knew Belladonna was back, and they had a chance at becoming great again. And once people heard the albums, they realized, yep, Anthrax is back. This is what we wanted 25 years ago.
Right. I didn't have to force myself to like an Anthrax album.
Yeah.
Like I tried to do the entire John Bush era.
Right.
This time,
yeah!
That one was alright though.
Oh yeah! Is that how it goes?
It's exactly how it goes.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You might be.
I'm pretty sure
you could be John Bush.
I'm gonna join Anthrax.
No.
All right.
No, it's Joey's band.
Well, apparently I'm not good enough to join Anthrax, but we did rate and rank Anthrax's albums. We don't know if you agree with us or not.
If you don't, you can tell us.
Yeah, we really don't.
We don't offend easy.
We don't. We also don't give a shit. You can tell us whatever you want,
which is why we don't offend easy.
And we're still gonna keep doing what we do because we have a blast doing this. We're like fucking just two fucking old fucking buddies hanging out and chilling and drinking beers and talking about old times and talking about the bands we were in and reliving some shit. And we're doing it on camera for you guys. And we hope you fucking like that shit. And we did it tonight. And we're going to keep doing it every fucking Tuesday.
So I hope you come back next Tuesday to see another one. Not sure what we're doing yet. We haven't planned that out yet.
We have some stuff recorded. We'll figure out what we're doing. And we know, we'll let you know on Facebook. Check our Facebook page. There's a link below. Check our Facebook page. Like the Facebook page. We have a lot more stuff on there that we don't have on our channel.
Yeah.
But we think it might be something interesting that you would like to see and like to hear. And, reviews, random shit, fucking musicians dying. Like, that's what we do. We wait for musicians to die and we tell you about it. But we're really good at it.
Sometimes we wait like 10, 15 years to tell you about it.
Yeah, or 40 years. We don't even know.
Or 40.
We don't even know. But thanks for tuning in tonight. We had a blast, as always. We drank some beers. So did you, hopefully. Chipper drank way more beers than he should have. But he's still standing. And so are we. And hopefully so are you. And,
Chipper fell down.
Why do you gotta touch it? Good job.
Jesus.
Good job. So, okay. Well, no, Chipper's still dead. We are not. So before we join Chipper into fucking Bob Pumpkin, we're going to sign off for tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in. We know it's ridiculous, but we're having fun. So,
till next time.
As long as you're here, so are we.
Good night.